The following is a Hennessy Hendo production. It includes excerpts and material from my vast collection of books and general knowledge. My collection spans many centuries and millennia. I upload as I have time, but the sheer volume is just so immense. It would do the people of the world good to listen to some actual classics or educate themselves on all manner of topics from fictional books to philosophy. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.
A war between the United States and Russia would likely be one of the most catastrophic conflicts in history, given their vast military capabilities, nuclear arsenals, and global influence. The following are some key dimensions of such a conflict, broken into phases and scenarios. 1. Initial phases. Conventional warfare. The conflict would likely start with conventional military operations, including the use of air power, naval forces, cyber attacks, and ground troops. Key regions. Likely flashpoints would include Eastern Europe, especially NATO's eastern flank, the Arctic, or the Pacific. Ukraine and the Baltic states could also see heavy conflict. Naval warfare. The Arctic, North Atlantic, and Pacific would see major naval confrontations, with U.S. carrier strike groups and Russian submarines playing significant roles. Cyber warfare. Both nations would target critical infrastructure, communications, and financial systems in attempts to disrupt each other's economies and logistics. Alliances. The U.S. would likely act as part of NATO and other allied coalitions. Russia might rely on its partnerships, including Belarus, and possibly China, though China's involvement would depend on its geopolitical strategy. 2. Escalation. Economic warfare. Sanctions and economic blockades would likely be deployed to cripple each other's economies. Russia might weaponize its energy exports, while the U.S. could leverage global financial systems. Proxy conflicts. The war could expand through proxies in regions such as the Middle East, Africa, and Asia, where both nations have competing interests. NATO space warfare. Both nations have space-based capabilities that could target satellites used for communications, GPS, and surveillance. 3. Potential use of nuclear weapons. Both the U.S. and Russia possess large nuclear arsenals capable of global destruction. Tactical nuclear weapons. These might be used first on the battlefield to gain an advantage. Strategic nuclear weapons. If the conflict escalates uncontrollably, large-scale nuclear exchanges could occur, targeting cities, military bases, and industrial centers. Deterrence mechanisms. Mutual assured destruction, MAD. Doctrine has historically prevented nuclear war, but miscalculations or rapid escalations could override this restraint. 4. Global impact. Humanitarian disaster. Massive civilian casualties, displacement, and destruction of infrastructure would result, with millions likely killed in a large-scale conflict. And environmental impact. Widespread radiation fallout in the event of nuclear strikes. Long-term climate effects from a nuclear winter. The global economy. A war of this magnitude would collapse global markets, disrupt trade, and lead to food and energy crises. Third parties. Neutral nations could be drawn in, and other major powers like China or India might play balancing roles or exploit the conflict for geopolitical gain. 5. Post-conflict scenario. If nuclear weapons were avoided, the outcome would depend on which side prevailed militarily and economically. In a nuclear scenario, civilization as we know it could be drastically altered, with survivors facing a long period of recovery in a post-apocalyptic world. Conclusion. Such a war would have no true winner and could destroy both nations and much of the world. Diplomatic engagement, arms control agreements, and conflict prevention mechanisms remain critical to avoiding such a catastrophe.
Thank you for watching. Share the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out other series including 10-minute synopses or complete audiobooks on Hennessy Hendo on YouTube. Literally check out my library. Become a literary master like Hendo. Share the wealth. Spread the good word.